there, nature enthusiasts. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the Spanish Imperial Eagle. This majestic bird of prey is a symbol of Spain and a proud part of the country's natural heritage. The Spanish Imperial Eagle is native to Spain, Portugal, and Morocco. They prefer to live in open habitats such as grasslands, meadows, and scrublands. These eagles are skilled hunters, primarily feeding on small mammals like rabbits, hares, and rodents. When it comes to behavior and ecology, the Spanish Imperial Eagle is a solitary bird with a lifespan of around 20 years. They're known for their impressive aerial displays and powerful talons. Breeding season for these eagles typically occurs from February to May. They lay eggs in a nest built on a cliff ledge or in a tree. Both parents take turns incubating the eggs and caring for the chicks. Conservation efforts are underway to protect this endangered species, with a population of around 2,000 to 2,500 individuals. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the world of the Spanish Imperial Eagle. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating wildlife facts. Stay curious and keep exploring. The Spanish Imperial Eagle Aquila adalberti, also known as the Iberian Imperial Eagle, the Spanish eagle, or Adalbert's eagle, is a species of eagle native to the Iberian Peninsula. The binomial commemorates Prince Adalbert of Bavaria. Due to its distinct epaulettes, old literature often referred to this species as the white-shouldered eagle. Formerly, for the Iberian Imperial Eagle was considered to be a subspecies of the Eastern Imperial Eagle, but is now widely recognized as a separate species due to differences in morphology, ecology, and molecular characteristics. 7-8. Distribution and habitat. Titled Spanish Imperial Eagle. The species occurs in central and southwest Spain and adjacent areas of Portugal, in the Iberian Peninsula. Its stronghold is in the Dehesa woodlands of central and southwest Spain, such as in Extremadura, Ciudad Real, and areas in the north of Huelva and Seville's Sierra Norte. The Spanish Imperial Eagle is a resident species, unlike the partially migratory Eastern Imperial Eagle. 11. Stable occurrence in Morocco is disputed. 12. But immature birds during the dispersion period regularly visit Morocco. 13. Rising numbers of vagrant birds born in Spain and then electrocuted in Morocco have been noted. 14. Some areas used by this species in Morocco could be becoming sort of a drain in terms of the species recovery, and this is due to the fact that the country stands in a similar situation as Spain was in the early 1980s when it comes to insulation of transmission towers. 15. Vagrant birds have even reached Mauritania and Senegal. 16. North of its natural range, vagrants have reached as far as the Netherlands in one rare occasion. 17. Behavior and ecology. A Spanish Imperial Eagle on its nest tending to its eaglet. Breeding nesting habitat is usually dry, mature woodlands, which they utilize for nesting and seclusion. But nests are most often fairly close to shrubby openings and wetland areas where prey is more likely to be concentrated. A shy species toward man, they normally nest only where human disturbance is quite low. 18. Like most raptors, they are highly territorial and tend to maintain a stable home range. Spanish Imperial Eagles nest from February to April. The nesting pair will construct a nest of as much as 1.5 meters for 0.9 feet across when first built, which will increase in time, especially in mature cork oaks. Quercus suber, clutch size is usually 2 to 3 eggs, with an incubation period of about 43 days, but on average about 1.23 to 1.4 fledglings are produced per nest. Nestling mortality is usually due to human disturbance and destruction and nest collapses, secondarily due to predation and siblicide. Fledging is reached at 63 to 77 days of age, but juveniles can linger for an extremely long period, to at least 160 days after fledging. 11, 19, 20. Food and feeding. Spanish Imperial Eagle feeds mainly on European rabbits, which comprised about 58% of this species' diet before myxomatosis and rabbit hemorrhagic disease greatly reduced the rab. Its native Iberian population. As rabbit population crashed, they have been recorded feeding on a wide range of vertebrates with varied success depending upon prey populations and may become semi-specialized hunters of water birds, especially Eurasian coots, ducks, and geese, also taking some numbers of partridges, pigeons, and crows, and any other bird they happen to encounter that is vulnerable to ambush. More than 60 bird species are known and be included in their prey spectrum. Several mammals may also be taken, including various rodents, hares, mustelids, hedgehogs, and even other large predators, such as red foxes, or rarely, since they are not typically present in the eagle's habitat, domestic cats and small dogs. Rarely, reptiles or even fish may also be preyed upon. The largest prey taken by this species may easily exceed 3.3 kilograms, 7.3 pounds, such as foxes, gray-lag geese, or white storks, but mean prey mass is relatively low, especially in areas. One study reported mean prey mass as 450 grams, 0.99 pounds locally, though a larger average prey size has also been reported. 20 to the Spanish Imperial Eagle is one of several rabbit-favoring birds of prey in Spain, along with the similarly specialized Iberian lynx. This species is largely segregated by habitat from other eagles that specialize on rabbits here to lessen direct competition, as the Imperial Eagle favors woods, whereas the golden and Bonelli's eagles tend to dwell in much rockier areas. However, Spanish Imperial Eagles frequently quarrel over food with various raptors, even much larger vultures, and the raptors may at times try to kill the young of one another. In one case, in protection their own nest, an adult Spanish Imperial Eagle even killed a Cenarius vulture, the largest accipitrid in the world. Healthy, free-flying Spanish Imperial Eagles are apex predators, being mostly free of natural predators themselves. But they do sometimes kill each other in conflicts, and rarely interspecies conflicts may be fatal. When protected from human persecution and far from threats such as power lines, adult mortality can be as low as 3 to 5.4% annually. 2320 for 25. Conservation jewel Spanish Imperial Eagle in flight. The species is classified as vulnerable by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. One threats include loss of habitat, human encroachment, collisions with pylons at some point in the early 1980s. Power lines were responsible for 80% of deaths among birds in their first year of life. 26, and illegal poisoning. There has also been a decline in the species' main prey. Rabbits have been kept at bay or even declined in some of the areas where the eagle is or could be present as a result of myxomatosis and, most recently, rabbit hemorrhagic disease. 15 by the 1960s, it had become a critically endangered species, with only 30 pairs remaining, all located in Spain. Following conservation efforts, recovery began in the 1980s at a rate of 5 new breeding pairs per year up to 1994. Imperial eagles were nearly wiped out. 127. In 2011, the species' global population had increased to 324 pairs, with 318 pairs in Spain. The species recolonized Portugal in 2003, after an absence of breeding activity for over 20 years, and has been slowly increasing since, with 6 breeding pairs located in 2011 and 9 located in 2012. The population in Spain showed an average annual increase of around 7% between 1990 and 2011. These positive trends are largely attributed to mitigation measures to reduce mortality associated with power lines, supplementary feeding, reparation of nests, reintroductions, and decreases in the disturbance of breeding birds. Although some of the observed increases may be due to more thorough searches within its range. 128. The International Union for Conservation of Nature (IUCN) is an international organization working in the field of nature conservation, and sustainable use of natural resources. 3. Founded in 1948, IUCN has become the global authority on the status of the natural world and the measures needed to safeguard it. It is involved in data gathering and analysis, research, field projects, advocacy, and education. IUCN's mission is to influence, encourage, and assist societies throughout the world to conserve nature and to ensure that any use of natural resources is equitable and ecologically sustainable. Over the past decades, IUCN has widened its focus beyond conservation ecology and now incorporates issues related to sustainable development in its projects. IUCN does not itself aim to mobilize the public in support of nature conservation. It tries to influence the actions of governments, business, and other stakeholders by providing information and advice and through building partnerships. The organization is best known to the wider public for compiling and publishing the IUCN Red List of Threatened Species, which assesses the conservation status of species worldwide. For IUCN has a membership of over 1,400 governmental and non-governmental organizations from over 170 countries. Some 16,000 scientists and experts participate in the work of IUCN commissions on a voluntary basis. It employs over 900 full-time staff in more than 50 countries. Its headquarters are in Gland, Switzerland. 4. Every 4 years, IUCN convenes for the IUCN World Conservation Congress, where IUCN members set the global conservation agenda by voting on recommendations and guide the Secretariat's work by passing resolutions and the IUCN program. IUCN has observer and consultative status at the United Nations and plays a role in the implementation of several international conventions on nature conservation and biodiversity. It was involved in establishing the Worldwide Fund for Nature and the World Conservation Monitoring Center. In the past, IUCN has been criticized for placing the interests of nature over those of indigenous peoples. In recent years, its closer relations with the business sector have caused controversy. 5-6 IUCN was established in 1948. It was initially called the International Union for the Protection of Nature 1948 to 1956 and has also been formerly known as the World Conservation Union 1990 to 2008. A vulnerable species is a species which has been categorized by the International Union for Conservation of Nature as being threatened with extinction, unless the circumstances that are threatening its survival and reproduction improve. Vulnerability is mainly caused by habitat loss or destruction of the species' home. Vulnerable habitat or species are monitored and can become increasingly threatened. In 2012, there were 5,196 animals and 6,789 plants classified as vulnerable, compared with 2,815 and 3,222, respectively. In 19, practices such as cryoconservation of animal genetic resources have been enforced in efforts to conserve vulnerable breeds of livestock specifically. The International Union for Conservation of Nature uses several criteria to enter species in this category. A taxon is vulnerable when it is not critically endangered or endangered, but is facing a high risk of extinction in the wild in the medium-term future, as defined by any of the following criteria to the International Union for Conservation of Nature uses several criteria to enter species in this category. A taxon is vulnerable when it is not critically endangered or endangered, but is facing a high risk of extinction in the wild in the medium-term future, as defined by any of the following criteria to